On April 30th, 2025, thousands of Burkina citizens gathered in Ouagadougou to show support for Captain Ibrahim Traoré, the country's military leader. The protest was one of the largest since Traoré came to power in 2022. But the questions on the minds of many, including myself, is what is this all about? Before I come to that, let me take you to some of the scenes that we all saw. In Burkina Faso, crowds waved national flags, chanted slogans, and held images of Traoré. Some carried Russian flags as a sign of Burkina Faso's shift away from the traditional Western alliances. But the question too is Russia not a foreign country? We'll come to that shortly. We have seen mass protests to kick presidents out of power. As a matter of fact, the people of Burkina Faso know this more than anyone else, as that is how they toppled Blaise Compaoré. It is rare to see a global demonstration in support of a sitting president. So what triggered these protests? Well, these protests followed two key events. The first was a recently forged coup attempt that was allegedly masterminded through Côte d'Ivoire. We are not certain who in Côte d'Ivoire was involved or if the coup plotters simply used the country Côte d'Ivoire as a base. The second, and probably the one that triggered the global demonstrations, is the recent public criticism from the U.S. General Michael Langley, head of U.S. Africa Command. Langley accused Ibrahim Traoré of diverting gold reserves to finance private security networks rather than national development. The statement, made in early April during a U.S. Senate hearing, resulted in widespread backlash across Africa and beyond. Many in Burkina Faso viewed Langley's comments as interference in domestic affairs. The government of Burkina Faso dismissed the claims and framed them as politically motivated. Demonstrations were not limited to the capital. Similar gatherings took place in major cities including Bobo, Dioulasso, and Kaya, where citizens voiced support for Traoré's leadership and condemned what they called neo-colonial pressure from the West. But the support did not stop there. Outside Burkina Faso, demonstrations also took place in several African capitals like in Accra, Ghana, Monrovia, Liberia, and people were demonstrating, expressing support for Traoré and the Alliance of Sahel States, a regional bloc formed between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. The alliance aims to promote military cooperation and regional autonomy following the suspension of ties with France and reduced engagement with other Western powers. The Pan-African nation of the demonstrations was confirmed when they spread to the diaspora and in the Caribbean. It therefore came as no surprise that protests were also organized by members of the African diaspora. In London, for instance, a large crowd gathered and marched to the U.S. and French embassies. Demonstrations were also reported in New York City, Italy, Kingston, and also in Jamaica. That's how huge it was. Now, participants called
Africa. If you touch Ibrahim Traoré, you touch all of us. South Africa, Kenya.
If you don't back this boy to put him in the cage, if you don't back this boy to put him in the cage, be careful. We are coming to you, especially Nigeria.
Exactly.
Especially Nigeria. Especially Nigeria. We are coming to your own man. We are coming to chop you away. Nigeria.
While critics are raising concerns about military rule and lack of elections in junta-led countries like Burkina Faso, many protesters say that their immediate priority is independence from external control. But most importantly, it shows that the concept of democracy, as we all know, is now being questioned. Countries with leaders elected through elections are facing disillusionment about the leadership, while one with a leader who came through a military coup is rather gaining global acclaim. Is this just the height of populism, or are we witnessing a situation where people are expressing their choices outside the ballot boxes? Let us know what you think in the comment section. Whatever the case, This moment represents a shift. It represents a moment where popular sentiment is challenging old alliances and calling for new forms of African leadership. Follow us as we will be coming to you with the details of this story and a lot more, and analysis. Thank you for watching. Bye.